So yesterday we were doing expression of concentration of solution. Okay, and you have seen what exactly is concentration of solution. Concentration of solution means how much amount of the solute is present in the given quantity of the solution. Okay, we are basically expressing them in terms of quantitative analysis. Okay, quantitative means how much of the solute is present. Okay, if you are calculating how much is present, that's called as quantitative analysis. If you are measuring what is present, okay, what is present, then that comes under qualitative. Okay, so here concentration, actually there are different ways you can tell about the solution, whether it is dilute or whether it is concentrated. That is also one more, but then that will come under qualitative. Okay, you're just seeing what is present, okay, like the concentration, whether just by seeing it. But then if you're exactly measuring how much of that is exactly present, that will come under quantitative analysis. Okay, so here we are talking about quantitative analysis, and you have seen there are different ways for us to express this concentration. Okay, so these are the five which we have already discussed. One was mass percentage, then volume percentage, then mass by volume, parts per million, and the last one was mole fraction. Okay, so these are the five which we have already discussed. Now I'll go for the next one, that is molarity. Okay, the next expression for concentration is molarity. Now what exactly is molarity? Molarity means if you take 1 mole of the solute. Okay, so here you can see 1 mole of the solute is taken, and if this 1 mole of the solute, usually molar solutions are prepared in standard flask. Okay, you can see here this flask which is there in the picture. Okay, this flask is called as standard flask. Okay, so usually this molar solutions are prepared in standard flask. So it's 1 liter. Okay, here this standard flask is of 1 liter. You can see a marking over here. Okay, this marking which indicates that this standard flask till here it makes up to 1 liter. Okay, from the bottom till this mark, okay, till this marking it is 1 liter. So when you take 1 mole of this solute, and we usually transfer this solute using a flask. Okay, funnel. We take a funnel to transfer this. So usually they transfer this salt and then they will add water. Okay, and after adding water we make up to that mark. Okay, I told you, this marking which is there, till there it is 1 liter. Okay, so when you dissolve this, you can see here that lower meniscus. Okay, this is the lower meniscus which is touching the mark. Okay, which comes out to be 1 liter here. So when you dissolve 1 mole of this solute, so here we have taken 1 mole of this solute and dissolved in 1 liter of the solution, then this particular solution will be called as 1 molar. Okay, if 1 mole of the solute is dissolved in 1 liter of the solution, then this is called as 1 molar. Okay, so that's molarity. So molarity means if you are dissolving the number of moles which are dissolved in 1 liter of the solution. Here I said 1 mole I have taken. So if I dissolve 1 mole, then it will be called as 1 molar. If I dissolve now 2 moles, then that will be called as 2 molar. Okay, and so on it goes. So we can define this molarity as the number of moles which are dissolved in 1 liter of the solution. So you can write molarity in the form of formula, number of moles of the solute divided by volume of solution in liter. Okay, it is volume of solution in liter because together when you combine the solute plus the solvent, and then you are making up to 1 liter. Okay, so we write volume of solution in liter. So in this 1 liter you are having the solute plus the solvent. And how do you calculate number of moles? How will you calculate number of moles? There is one formula, no, to calculate number of moles. Number of moles can be calculated by mass and the molar mass. Okay, so if you divide mass by molar mass, you can calculate number of moles. Okay, this is to calculate number of moles. That is N, which can be calculated by mass by molar mass. Okay, and then divide by volume of solution in liter. So remember it should be in liter, then we call as molarity. Okay. Okay, next you can write down what do you mean by 1 molar. So I told you 1 molar means if 1 mole of the solute is present in 1 liter of the solution, means you have taken 1 mole and then you have dissolved in 1 liter of the solution. Okay, then that solution will be called as 1 molar. And then 2 molar means if 2 moles of solute is dissolved in 1 liter, okay, see, make a note, it is 1 liter. If you take 2 moles and dissolve in 1 liter of the solution, 2 moles in 1 liter, then that will be 2 molar. Okay, if I take now 2 moles and dissolve in 2 liter, then how much will be the molarity of that particular solution? If 2 moles are taken and dissolved in 2 liter, then how much will be the molarity? Yeah, then it will be 1. Very good, correct. Then it will be 1 because 2 moles are dissolved in 2 liter. Then it will come out as 1. Okay, so see the difference, understand. If you dissolve them in only 1 liter, only then you can define them as, like, if 1 mole is dissolved in 1 liter, that will be 1 molar. If 2 moles are dissolved in 1 liter, then it will be 2 molar. But if you change the volume here, then the molarity also will change. Okay, so keep that in mind. Yeah, let's see the last one now. The last one is molal, okay, molality. We call them as molality. So here, this picture will be a little blur, okay, but then you understand the concept because picture isn't that important, but you'll be able to at least understand what is exactly present. So here you can see 1 mole of glucose is weighed here. Okay, using a weighing balance, they have measured 1 mole of glucose, and then on the other side, you can see 1 kg of water is weighed here. Okay, on the other side. So if you are doing the preparation of the solution in this way, you have taken 1 mole of the solute and then you take 1 kg of the solvent. Okay, so solvent is taken separately. You can see here, solvent is taken separately. Then if you combine them together, okay, then if these two things are combined together and then you make a solution, then such solution is said to be 1 molar. Okay, this solution is called as 1 molar solution. So your 1 mole of the solute is dissolved in 1 kg of the solvent. So we are not making the, together we are not making up to 1 kg. Okay, 1 kg of the solvent is taken separately and 1 mole of the glucose is taken separately. Then you are mixing it together. Okay, so that's the difference between molality and molarity. Understand? Okay, molarity, what I've told you is they take that standard flask. Okay, you have seen that standard flask. Okay, if this is a standard flask, they have added the solute first. Okay, then they will add the solvent. Okay, so together they will make the solution up to 1 liter. Okay, then that is molar solution. Here what they have done, separately a solute is taken, separately a solvent is taken, then it is mixed together. Okay, so then the solution is said to be 1 molar. Okay, so this is how the molar solutions are prepared. Mixed together you get 1 molar. So 1 molar means what exactly? 1 molar means if 1 mole of the solute is present in 1 kg of the solvent. Similarly, if 2 moles, if you are talking about 2 molar, that means 2 moles of the solute is present in 1 kg of the solvent. So see, here it is solvent, not solution, because I said the solvent and the solutes are taken separately here. Okay, so we say 1 mole of the solute is present in 1 kg of the solvent. If it is 2 molar, we say 2 moles of the solute is present in 1 kg of the solvent. Okay, so molality, how can we define? Molality is nothing but number of moles of the solute which is dissolved in 1 kg of the solvent. Okay, that is 1 kilogram of the solvent. Then it is called as molality. Then you can write them as number of moles of solute, okay, in the form of formula, number of moles of solute by mass of solvent in kg. Okay, and you can measure this. Number of moles of the solute can be measured similar way. That is mass by molar mass. Okay, this will be your n value, number of moles. So that you can measure if you know mass and molar mass of that particular substance which is being asked. Okay, then you can calculate number of moles. Yes, this is the next one. Write down, students, what is molarity. And when you denote them, okay, not to get confused between molality and molarity. So when you denote molar solution, okay, like if I have to talk about 1 molar, then we will write 1 and then capital M. Okay, so capital M is used. If you're talking about molar solution, then 1 molar, then small m is used, okay, for denotion. Even when you write after the calculation, if they have asked you in the problem to calculate molarity or molality, Okay, in front of that, whatever number you get, you will write this as a unit. Okay, so this stands for molarity. And this small m will stand for molality. So don't make that mistake. Okay, write properly. Capital M should be visible properly for them. Yes. So altogether, you see how many concentration terms you have learned. You have learned about mass percentage. Mass percentage means what? Just I will revise, okay? Because these formulas you need to keep in mind, because later we are going to work out the problems. And in your exam, they will be asking problems, okay? Most of the time it is problem which is asked. And then molarity and molality that can be asked, okay? So here, mass percentage means the mass of the component divided by total mass of the solution. Okay, since it is percentage, you know, you are supposed to multiply by 100. Similarly, volume percentage means usually it is used for liquid, because liquids are measured in terms of volume. So if you want to calculate volume percentage, you will take the volume of that particular component, divide by the total volume of the solution into 100. Okay, then we have mass by volume percentage. Okay, so if you have a solute and then if you are dissolving that in a liquid, then we have mass by volume percentage. So that means mass of the solute dissolved in 100 ml of the solution, means total volume of the solution into 100. That's what it means. Okay, and then the next one is parts per million. This I've told you, it is usually used for very dilute solution. Okay, if the solution is very dilute, then you get very little amount of concentration, correct? So if you are calculating out of 100, I told you your number will come out as 0.000 something. So that's little difficult to handle. So to make them into a correct whole number, we take out of million. Okay, we calculate that out of million. So in that million part, how much is the contribution of these components? So that will be number of parts of that component divided by total number of parts of all the component which are present. Okay, then after that, mole fraction. If two components are taken in terms of moles, okay, and if you want to calculate how much is the contribution of one mole, okay, one component over there, so then you will take number of moles of that component, divide by the total number of moles of all the component. And remember, when you add sum of all the components which are present, like if I have A, B, and then so on, everything will come out equal to be as 1. Okay, and in this percentage case, everything will come out as 100. Okay, when you add all the components together, here in case of percentage, it will come as 100, and here in this case fraction, it will come out as 1. Okay, when you sum everything up. And then these two, okay, these two are little more important. Concentrate more on this molarity and molality. Okay, molarity means if 1 mole means the number of solute, okay, number of solute which is present in 1 liter of the solution. How much solute is present in 1 liter, that will come as molarity. If you're talking about the number of solute present in 1 kg of the solvent, 1 kg of the solvent, okay, then that will be called as molality. Okay, so these are the 7 concentration terms you are having to learn. Okay, now after this, one small topic which is there, which can be asked as a give reason in your exam. Effect of temperature means in all of these concentration term, what will be the effect of temperature? Okay, which will change when you change the temperature. So that is what we need to discuss here. Okay, so effect of temperature. So now you know, if I have a solution, suppose that solution is at lower temperature. Okay, so lower temperature, these molecules are at particular energy and all that. But if you increase the temperature, okay, so if I increase the temperature means if I take that same solution at higher temperature. So what will happen, as you can see in this picture, you know that these molecules will acquire certain amount of energy, and then the volume, okay, you can see over here that volume of that particular solution will increase, correct? No? If I talk about temperature, see, at lower temperature, they are having a certain volume. Okay, here you can see this is the volume which they are acquiring at lower temperature. This is the volume which they are acquiring at lower temperature. But if you are going to increase the temperature, you know these molecules will acquire that temperature and they will start moving little faster. Okay, kinetic energy will increase, all that. And when the kinetic energy increases, it's obvious that they will try to move little far away from each other. Okay, then automatically this volume also will increase, correct? No? So you can see here volume increases, but what remains the same? The mass is there. No, that will remain the same because the molecules are not going outside. Okay, they are still present there itself. But what happens is only the volume will increase, but the mass remains the same. Okay, so this is the effect of temperature. So remember, at lower temperature, these molecules will be still there, but at higher temperature, they acquire certain energy and then it will lead to increase in the volume. Okay, so when volume increases, it will automatically affect the concentration term. Okay, but remember, mass will remain the same. Mass is not getting affected because molecules are not going outside. We are not talking about they are escaping from the solution. Yeah, number of moles also will remain same. Number of moles will remain same. Okay. So what changes? This is very little change, okay? You don't find much difference, but then still it is important. Means that little change also, where exactly that change takes place, in which concentration. Like I'll give you one example now. See, in case of molarity, okay? I'll take molarity as this expression term. If I talk about 2 molar solution, okay, imagine this particular solution is prepared at a room temperature, okay, at one particular temperature it was prepared. At a cold climate, imagine that this particular solution was prepared at cold climate, 2 molar solution. That means what? 2 moles are dissolved in 1 liter of the solution, okay. And then here, on a warm day, if the same solution is prepared, okay, on a warmer day, if you prepare the same solution, like we have prepared 2 moles, 2 molar solution, okay, so 2 moles dissolved in 1 liter, okay. In a warmer day, what will happen? This particular volume which is there, okay, that will start increasing, correct? So imagine that the volume has increased by around 1%. I'm just assuming this 1% of volume has increased, and that volume from 1 liter has got changed to 1.01%. Okay, then you see what will be the difference in the molarity. So here, if you are calculating the molarity in the first case where the temperature was low, okay, in the lower temperature case, if you are going to calculate the molarity, you will get 2 molar itself, no? Because 2 moles divided by 1 liter, okay, you will get 2 molar itself. But in this case, if you are going to calculate, the moles will not change. 2 divided by volume has increased, okay, to 1.01. So if I divide this 2 by 1.01, how much is the percentage, like how much is the molarity you are getting, you see? 2 divided by 1.01 if I do. Here I am talking about increase in the volume. Okay, when the volume has increased, and after that if you are going to calculate 2 divided by 1.01 if you are doing, you just to see how much is the molarity you are getting. Around 1 point, just calculate and see, okay. So here when I am doing the calculation, I am getting around 1.98 molar. Yes, correct, no? Yeah, most of you are getting 1.98 molar. Yeah, so what has happened here? When the volume increases, the molarity is decreasing. See, slight change in the temperature. So when you are preparing that same molar solution in a cold day, you will see that it remains 2 molar itself. But if you are preparing the same thing in a warmer day, because of increase in temperature, the volume is increasing. That volume increase will lead to decrease in the molarity. Okay, slight change, 0.02 is the change. But still there is difference. Okay. And the mass will not be affected because you're not removing anything out. Mass remains the same, okay, only the volume will change. So now here you got to know, if the volume increases, then it will affect the concentration. You have seen in the case of molarity, just now I gave you one example. Okay, now you have to discuss which concentration terms will be affected. You have learned 7 concentration terms, no? So which concentration terms will get affected now? Exactly. So here, out of these 7, which are the concentration terms will be affecting by the temperature, okay. So here first one doesn't have volume, only the one which has volume, they will get affected, correct, no? So that means the second one, okay, I will mark only the one which has volume. So second one, volume percentage, this one. Then we have mass by volume, this has volume in them. And then this molarity one, okay, which is having volume term. So these are the 3 which will be depending on the volume, okay. So their values will change, their concentration terms, their values are going to change when the temperature is affected. So it depends, like either the contraction will take place or there will be expansion. Okay, so somehow there will be change. Okay, so you have to remember this now. Mass percentage, mole fraction and molality, all of these, they don't have any volume term, so they are independent of the temperature, whereas the molarity, volume percentage and mass by volume percentage, this will be the function of temperature. Okay, that means these will change when you change the temperature, because volume depends on temperature and they don't depend on mass. Okay, so this is one important give reason which you need to remember. So you can give the heading effect of temperature and write down this. Now directly we'll go for working out the problem based on this concentration. Okay, the first one, calculate the mass percentage of benzene. Okay, formula is given to you, C6H6 and carbon tetrachloride, that is CCl4. If 22 gram of benzene is dissolved in 122 gram of carbon tetrachloride. Okay, so question what they have asked you to find is mass percentage of benzene. Okay, you need to find mass percentage of benzene, and then the second thing is mass percentage of carbon tetrachloride. So to calculate mass percentage, the formula, you know the formula, correct? Mass percentage of benzene, I have written for benzene first. So it is mass of benzene divided by the total mass of the solution, correct? So here, what are the total mass of the solution? Solution is made up of two things. One is benzene and the other one is carbon tetrachloride. Okay, one is benzene and the other one is carbon tetrachloride. So you will write mass of benzene plus mass of carbon tetrachloride and into 100. Okay, so mass of benzene, it's a direct substitution. Mass of benzene is given, no. Mass of benzene, I'll write here, mass of benzene is 22 and mass of CCl4, that's 122. Okay, so direct substitution, 22 divided by 22 plus 122 into 100. Yeah, 144. So total mass of the solution will be 144. So 22 divided by 144 into 100. How much is it? You can calculate and tell me later, you can copy this down. Yeah, very good, correct. So this is the answer. Yeah, 15.2728 like that you are getting, correct? So 15.28%. Now next question is to calculate mass percentage of carbon tetrachloride. See, two things are asked. Will you sit and calculate this carbon tetrachloride like this only? Not required, no? Yesterday, if you remember, I told you something. If it is out of 100 and if they ask you both the things, then you can calculate the one and the other one, how are you going to calculate? How will you calculate for next one? Yeah, very good, correct. So if I have to calculate for mass percentage of carbon tetrachloride, we need not sit and do it this way. You can directly do 100 minus 15.28. Yeah, very good. Yes. And then whatever answer you get, that will be mass percentage of carbon tetrachloride. Okay, because they will understand that you know the concept. But if they ask you only one, then you have to do the calculation. Yes, very good, correct. So you are getting almost around 84.7372 like that. Okay, so I'll write here this one. Yeah, good. Now copy this down. I believe it is understood. It's a simple problem. Directly mass percentage is asked. Okay, so use the formula and direct substitution. Nothing, no conversion, nothing is there. And always students, when any problem is given, no, make sure you write the formula correct. Okay, in case if you don't know how to work out, at least you know the formula, you will get 1 mark over there. Problem and answer me first. Okay, see the next question is, you need to calculate the mole fraction. Now here, it's a mole fraction problem of ethylene glycol. Formula is given to you, C2H6O2. In the solution containing 20% of ethylene glycol by mass. Okay, you need to calculate mole fraction. So to find out is mole fraction of ethylene glycol. And you know how do you calculate mole fraction? Mole fraction you need to calculate by taking number of moles of that component. Like if I take ethylene glycol as A, okay, just I'm writing as A, number of moles of ethylene glycol divided by total number of moles of all the component, correct? No, so here the solution is made up of ethylene glycol and they have not told anything else. That means what is the next solvent here present? If they have not mentioned, that also I told you the other day, in case if they don't mention, yeah, the other solvent is water itself, okay? So that A component is ethylene glycol and that another component, B component is there, no, that's water here. Okay, so very good. Yes, that is the water part. Okay, so you need to remember here, you need to calculate number of moles of ethylene glycol, Na is that part, and then you need to calculate number of moles of water also. These two things has to be calculated. Okay, yeah, before going for that, yeah, 20% here, 20% of ethylene glycol by mass they have told. What does this exactly mean by mass? That means what here? Is it 20 gram in 100 gram of or 20 in 80? 20 and 80. How is it? In solution. Yeah, that will be correct. Yes. 20 gram of ethylene glycol is present in 100 gram of the solution. Agree? Everyone? This is correct? So if you have to write solute and solvent separately, then 20% means what? 20 gram of ethylene glycol is there and 80 gram of water. Or you can write like as you guys have told me, 20 gram of ethylene glycol in 100 gram of solution. Okay, I wrote it separately. Why? So that because we need solute and solvent separately. So I've written in this way. Okay, so that means we have 20 gram of ethylene glycol and 80 gram of water. Okay, so we will go for calculation now. Number of moles we have to calculate for mole fraction. This is mole fraction formula. Xi A is equal to Na divided by Na plus Nb. Okay, where Na is number of moles of ethylene glycol divided by number of moles of ethylene glycol plus number of moles of water. Okay, so we need this number of moles of ethylene glycol and moles of water. This has to be calculated. Then directly we can substitute and find out. So we'll go for first one. Moles of ethylene glycol. What is the formula to calculate moles of ethylene glycol? What is the formula to calculate moles? Number of moles. Mass by molar mass. Very good. Yes. So here moles of ethylene glycol is mass of that ethylene glycol, C2H6O2, okay, divided by molar mass of ethylene glycol. Mass of ethylene glycol you got here 20 gram. This is the mass, okay, divided by molar mass of ethylene glycol is not given anywhere. You need to calculate that, okay. You remember how to calculate molar mass, correct? How do you calculate molar mass? C2H6O2. Formula is given to you. So this will make your job easier. So molar mass is calculated by summing up all the mass of these elements which are present. Okay, so that means it will be 2 into mass of carbon is 12. Okay, so 2 into 12 plus 6 hydrogen. 6 into mass of hydrogen is 1. So 6 into 1 plus 2 oxygen. 2 into mass of oxygen is 16. So when you add all of these, whatever answer you get, that will be the molar mass of ethylene glycol. Okay, so in mole fraction, no, you need to find out the mass part first, and molar mass usually they don't give. Okay, if it is a simple compound like now your water and all, they have not given. Okay, you may have to calculate. But if it is like a bigger element, a larger one which you are not much familiar, then they will give you. Okay, but most of the time simple compounds you need to calculate. So this is how you need to calculate. Okay, so I have shown it on the other side. You can see here. So molar mass, okay, you will get as 62 gram per mole when you do the calculation. Now direct substitution. So it will be 20 is the mass divided by molar mass is 62. Okay, so you will get around 0.322 moles. Okay, so we got moles of ethylene glycol. Next is to calculate moles of water. That you can do and tell me. Roughly you do side. Later you can write this down. Roughly at the side you do and tell me what is the answer. How do you calculate number of moles of water? Mass divided by molar mass of water. Okay, mass of water divided by molar mass. Yeah, very good. Yes. Yes, good students. Yeah, correct. So mass of water is 80 divided by molar mass of water is 18, no? How is it 18? H2O. Okay, molar mass of water, because 2 into 1 plus 16. So that is 18. So this is molar mass of water. So you got 80 by 18. That comes out as 4.44 mole. Okay. So done, no? Both the moles we have got. Now direct substitution in this formula. Okay. In this formula, you have to directly substitute and find out what is the mole fraction. So directly we have substituted mole fraction of ethylene glycol is equal to substitution is equal to the answer, that is 0.068. Okay, if you calculate, you will get this much answer. Follow? Did you understand now how to work out this? Anything to ask? Any trouble in understanding any of this point? Okay, then you can start copying down. Copy it down now. This is molar mass, okay? Molar mass of water.